All right, good morning, guys. Today is May 18th, Thursday, May 18th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So as you can see, I've been trying to remove the markups from the chart to my right. So that's what I was trying to work on. Because there's no need to have the same markups on two charts. So the chart to my right is my hourly, for all instruments. US 30, I don't know why this did not move. So that's what I was, but I didn't want to waste too much time. So for only today, we'll just bear with this lines on the hourly time frame. Eventually, I want my charts to look this way, but I'm also having one of my programmers code markup indicator that will automatically do all of this in any instrument that there is. So for today, everything is quite bearish for now. So the first thing to look at or to look for is our trend lines, our static trend lines. So that's how I always start trading. So every morning before I even start looking at what bias we have, I look for the static trend lines that are next to where price is at. So for US 30, I have that. I really don't, this is the only static trend line for right now for where price is at.
For some
Plus,
reason, the chart's not coming up, by the way. It's bringing me to another page.
is it for for the subscription ones?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me do this. What am I trying to do? Okay. Let me work on this other chart. Um, so gold, and then US 30, and then EU. Yeah, I did something yesterday that messed up the chart. So today I had to spend like 3 hours to redo everything. So let me fix that for you. Just 1 second. Gold, we'll do this. That and that. that. Okay. Gold. Yeah, when we get this indicator developed, it will save all this hassle and time that I'm spending doing the markups. Okay, so that's the gold one. Then let me get you the US 31. Make a copy. Save this. US gold markups. US 30 markups. That's it. And then let me do the one for EU. So let's just wait for the market to stabilize because we don't trade the first 10 minutes of New York Open. So we'll just let the market just stabilize. So today, as you can see, everything is bearish. So today, one of the, right, what do we like looking for on days where there's a heavy trend? So, right, so today would be a good day to look for reversals. So share copy link. This one, charts access. Hey, Livy, but the EU chart should be good, right? If I'm not wrong, the EU, I think gold and US 30 charts are the only ones that had some issues. The EU chart should be good. I'll copy link, but I
Yeah,
will,
EU's good.
okay, but I will just re-enter it in there. Uh, Okay, yeah, I'll leave EU. So I just updated them right now. Check if you're able to load. You should be able to load um gold and US 30 charts, hopefully. All right. So let's see. So these are the only trend lines I have for US
Yeah, we
30.
good now.
Okay, perfect. So for US 30, we have this lower low. We do have a daily bullish low here, which is where price rejected exactly. So this daily bullish low for me overrides any bear. So same thing we've been we've been doing this all week. This daily bearish, this daily bullish low. See, I had even multiple ones. So I meant my charts are still messed up a little bit. But yeah, this daily bullish low overrides any bearish zone that I'm seeing. Also, we have a demand zone in here where price rejected from. So at this point, I would be looking for a high low to be created on US 30, and then I would look for a buy. Also, look, I can see a trend here. So price was at 33,482. My reversal for US 30 is 500 pips. So we have to go to at least 33, about 33,000 to get a perfect reversal. I'm not sure if price will go all the way down here, but if it does come here with price consistently staying below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, then that can be a reversal. But for me to take a buy from this zone where we have the daily bullish low, I need a high low to be created. So long as a high low is not created, I will not look to enter a buy on US 30 for now. For gold, gold is still in demand zones. Gold has been using these demand zones as supply zones. So remember, they can always use demand zones as supply zones and vice versa. So this weekly low, I'll just pull it down here. On the hourly time frame, the trend lines we have for gold. So let's see. No, I don't like that trend line. So this one right here that has just been broken, and then this other one that's right there. So gold has broken that trend line to the downside. At this point, I might as well start looking for structure, because if the previous area of structure you're looking at is broken, you need to keep looking at where the next area of structure is. So gold is likely to go to 1950 for any possible reversal. So if we look at the 5-minute time frame, what is 1950? 1950 is around the previous monthly low. It's around a heavy demand zone within a demand zone. So I'll still wait for gold to keep coming down. I got stopped out of the gold reversal that we took yesterday on the 15-minute time frame. So same thing. So I got stopped out on a reversal on the 5-minute time frame, got stopped out on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm not interested in either of those two time frames anymore. So at this point, I am interested in the 30-minute time frame to catch any other reversal on gold. So if you get stopped out on a reversal, remember the reversal starts on the 5-minute. You get stopped out on the 5-minute, go to the 15-minute, get stopped out on the 15-minute, go to the 30-minute. Ideally, you are just looking for a better entry. And the higher the time frame you go, the higher the risk that you can enter for that trade. So for me, if I do get a buy on gold, so I got stopped out for a 0.5. The 5-minute one, my risk was about 0.5. The 15-minute one that I got stopped out yesterday, actually my risk was still 0.5. Because I called it on the live session, I did use a 0.5% risk, and I did show those results in the Discord, because if you can see, I only lost like about 1,000, and this is on a 200K account, so it was still 0.5. Now, if I do get a buy on the 30-minute, I will go in with like a 1% risk. On the live session, I'll call a 0.5% risk. But on um, or personally, I'll probably use a 1% risk. The reason for that is, well, 0.5, or maybe I'll call 0.75. So we can definitely get an entry on the, so if we go on the 5-minute time frame, if we look at the trend, 1975 less 15 is 1960. So here, if you're still using, if you never entered this position on the 15-minute time frame, there is a reversal on the 5-minute time frame right here. So I'll go ahead and delete this because we already got stopped out of that. Actually, no, there isn't, because price is closing. Oh, this is on the 15-minute, that's why. Yeah, so there's no reversal on the 5-minute time frame. There's no entries on the 5-minute time frames for now. Because price, based on this EMA that's in the indicator, which is different from the, it's a little bit different from the 9 EMA, the generic 9 EMA, because you can see the reversal indicator EMA, sometimes you have price closing. Wait, actually, give me 1 second. My charts are all the way messed up this morning. Okay, that's better. I can't wait for my new indicator to be developed. Anyway, yeah, because I was seeing a reversal here, but I'm not seeing this one. So if you never took the loss from yesterday on the 15-minute time frame, here on the 5-minute, you have this about around 1978 as your point of interest. However, for me, since I got stopped out twice, I'm not entering on the 5-minute. I'm not entering on the 15-minute. I'll only enter a gold buy on the 30-minute time frame. So this is only for people who never got stopped out on the 5-minute, on the 15-minute, or people who are just willing to re-enter on a 15-minute time frame. 1978 less 15, that is 1963. So gold has already met the 150 pip threshold. So this is 150 pips. And then come in here, I'm only interested in buys, 1 there, 50 here. Yeah, that's perfect. So a buy signal here would be valid. So this threshold tells us we're not interested in any buy signal that came up within this zone. So this buy here is invalid just by process of elimination. So if you get a buy here on gold on the 5-minute, that would be an entry. However, for me, since I already got stopped out the day before, yesterday and the day before, I'm only looking to enter gold on the 30-minute time frame. So for US 30, I need a high low to be created on US 30 for me to take any buy. But right now I am bullish on US 30. The reason for that is that I have a daily bullish low that overrides all the other zones, overrides the 30-minute bearish high, 30-minute bearish low, overrides the hourly bearish high and low here. But for me to take a buy right now, I need a high low on the 5-minute to be created. So until then, I'm not looking for anything on US 30. For EU as well, this is 167. So I'll call this maybe 150. Then you have 350, which would be trying to see a reversal. However, we do have this huge bullish, huge bearish candle that takes up about 30% of the move. So until we get like a 60 pip move on meltdown on EU, I am not looking to catch any reversals on EU just yet. Yeah, so right now, this is one of those days where you can, I think the monthly low has already come here too. This is one of those moves. You can either look for an entry. So everything right now is bearish. However, you need to find something to write price down. For EU, personally, I do not have anything to write price down. For gold, I don't have anything to write price down. US 30 is the only thing that can give you an entry to write price down. So you have an hourly bearish high and an hourly bearish low. If your bias is telling you there's a sell on US 30, we do have an hourly bearish high, hourly bearish low. We also do have a death cross that came up on the 5-minute. However, for me, it's, I'm not looking for sells as of now on anything. I would rather wait for the trend because the trend has already gone so far. If you look at EU, right, it's still melting, gold is still melting. So, you might be catching chasing the sell at the bottom. So I would rather wait for a reversal, or I would rather come in here and look for a breakout using the breakout indicator. Let's see what else we have here. So breakout. So right now NAS is breaking out to the upside on the 15 minutes. So if I come to NAS 100, so right now I'm not interested in any sells. I would rather wait for the sell momentum to finish, and then I will catch the reversal at the end of the day, because I don't really want to chase any sells. So NAS, let's see. NAS, so this is a buy on NAS on the 15-minute time frame. However, this candle is too, you want to, right, for the breakout strategy, you don't really want to trade 1 hour before New York open. And as usual, we need to wait for New York open to stabilize. So this candle right here was on the open of the New York session. So at the very least, we need to wait for, you can either hop in on impulse. Personally, I normally hop in on impulse, but if you want a safer entry, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA, which is down here, or the breakout zone, which was down here. So, and for this one, I normally go for 100 pips TP and 100 pips stop loss. So I always go for double what I would go for on US 30 and on normally I'm sorry, I would normally go for double what I go for on regular trades. So for this trade right here, 608, 100 pips would be, yeah. So you can either enter here, and when you're taking the breakout strategy, make sure at the very least use double the TP and stop loss we normally use, or make sure your stop loss. So for example, and I did mention this is the zones that are measuring the breakout. This is the test EMA. In this case, mine is 50 EMA. And then the breakout is normally triggered when you have a breakout above 50 pips above this zone, above the whatever, the 50 EMA or whatever EMA you use for a buy, and you get a sell if price breaks below 50 pips away from the test EMA that you've done. So right now you can see this buy was triggered because price broke up 50 pips away from the 50 EMA in this zone. So for this trade, personally, I always go for double what I go for on breakout and reversal strategies. But for me, the safest entry here would be the retest of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, which would be around 13,614 area, 615 area. But the way I normally trade breakouts, I just get in on impulse after the candle is taken. If this wasn't a news or a post New York candle or New York open candle, I would have entered on impulse. The other way you can manage your stop loss, you can always put your stop loss below, instead of going, if for example, right now 100 pips is all the way down here, the key thing is to put your stop loss below the opposite area where a sell signal can be triggered. So for this case, a sell signal will be triggered if price closes below 50 pips below the 50 EMA, which would be around 13,581. So you can always, so right now stop loss was around here. So instead of doing this, I can increase my risk to reward just by putting my stop loss below the low of this 15-minute candle at around 13,569. So for me, let me see, for this trade, yeah, for you guys, if I was calling this trade on the live session, I would rather wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. Yeah, I'm not going to call that trade, but this is a valid buy. If you want to take it, it is a valid buy. The reason I'm not calling it on the live session is because I always look for safer entries when I'm trading on the live session. So that's why I'm saying for a buy on NAS, if you want to be safe, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. If you can stomach drawdown up to the 9 EMA, which would be what is it? About 50% of your stop loss, go ahead and jump in. Let me look for NAS, and then So, you know, it all comes down to risk management and how you want to. Trying to look for NAS on my charts. Yeah, but on a personal trade, I will hop into that NAS by depth of market. Let's see what I want to trade.
Question, Mike, with the indicator you're working on for the supply and demand zones, it's
Mhm.
gonna be every time frame.
Yes, yes. So you can
Oh,
use
okay.
that. So it's going to do every time frame. It's going to be getting supply and demand zones from the monthly down to the 15-minute time frame. I really don't trade the five. I really don't trade supply and demand zones on the 5-minute time frame. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Okay, cool.
yeah. Let's see. This is 1,000. I'm trying to do the math on this thing. Uh, I'm going to. So even for me on the personal trade, I'm only risking, what am I risking for this trade? Want to see. Yeah, for me, I'm risking just 0.5%. There's something new that I'm trying. I'm trying to be as conservative as I can on the trades that I'll be taking. Because the last week I've just been busy working on a lot of things, so I haven't been able to focus on a bunch of my accounts that I have. So yeah, for me, for this trade, I'm just going for 100 pips TP and stop loss. See, I think I entered. Okay, yeah, so this is not an official trade. I'm just showing you guys how I enter the breakouts. For the official trade, if this trade does come back down, this will be the official trade that I call, which would be the 9 EME, I believe is the yellow one. So this will be the official trade down here, and you'll see the difference between waiting for the entry, waiting for the retest of the 9 EMA, and waiting and just hopping in on impulse. So this right here is what I'm waiting for price to come back down here. That will be the official entry for NAS by around 13,620, 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss. So you'll see the difference between entering in on impulse and waiting for a retest. For me, I just entered on impulse because I don't trade NAS and I don't want to keep looking at different charts. And I really didn't need or didn't want to set a stop or a pending order. So this right here, this is a hanging trend line. So this is a hanging trend line because it only originates from one high-low period. For this to become a static trend line, this has to be established as a high-low. The reason I drew this hanging trend line is because I'm looking for buys on US 30, and I need a high-low to be established on US 30. Gold, let's see. For gold, gold, we saw it's likely to come down to the 1950 area. So in that instance, I'll just go ahead and draw this pattern because that's around. So keep in mind, if you haven't gotten stopped out on any of the gold buys that I took either yesterday or the day before, there's a reversal on gold coming, but we need a buy signal to show up here. So it already met the 150 pips threshold. Even if you take off these huge candles that are part of the move, you take out above about 10 pips, you can see gold drop to about 1954, 1955 area. So you can ignore these huge candles for now because price dropped so far below the threshold. So the distance between where the threshold was last at and where price dropped to is like 90% of this huge candle or 60% of this huge candle. So right now you can disregard this huge candle primarily because price dropped so far below the 150 pips. So even for gold, if I get a high low, the better. So same thing. I don't see anything else. EU, I really don't see even a reversal on EU, primarily because we have this huge candle that's accounting for like 40% of the trend. So there's nothing I am looking for on EU. On the other hand, what do you see here? You see a monthly bullish high on EU. So monthly zones we really don't get. We get sometimes daily zones and weekly zones, but this zone right here, if EU comes back up, right here. So this is what I'm looking for. If looking at EU, this zone, so we have a demand zone within a demand zone. So we can possibly retest this demand zone within a demand zone. Come here, pick up liquidity at the previous monthly low. Now, if we do close above this monthly bullish high, expect a retest and then build up in liquidity for EU to go all the way back up. And this will be a huge retracement, because if you look at EU on the hourly time frame, look at this. It's just been dipping and dipping and dipping. Let's look at structure that has been completed or can be completed. So there's still structure, a lot of structure to the downside. However, it doesn't mean that it will keep melting to the downside. If EU is to complete this whole structure to the downside at about 1.05419, it has to pick up liquidity from somewhere. It can't just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. So this monthly bullish high can be an area for EU to pick up liquidity and possibly go to the hourly bearish high that's around 1.085 zone, and maybe retest and melt to the downside. So this monthly bullish high is an area that I will be looking at for buy for EU. But right now there's really no entry for EU. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll just look for any other entries. So we have what else
I have
is
a question about the breakout scanner. Like as far as entering trades, I entered a trade yesterday on OddCAD on the 15-minute. And is the idea here we're just we look for the criteria that you said before, and then we set the trade, set the TP, set the SL, and leave it be, and just if it performs, it performs?
Yes.
Or like, because there's a couple times when I went and looked back, and after the buy signal, I was patient. I waited for it to meet the criteria, and it hit about another 5 more sell signals after, and I saw it kind of going towards take profit, so or towards stop loss. So I was just wondering, do you ever go in and just close it and or do you just let it ride, and then it's a numbers game, like the more should hit than more should fail?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I like turning on buys only or sells only, because once you start getting those sell, like the first thing, so for anything I'll ever develop, the entry will always be based on 3 things: retest of trend line, retest of 9 EMA, or retest of a high low. Because right now, so for example, let me see. So I'm looking at Euro NZD had a buy right here that closed. Also, you also want to wait for the candle to close, because some of these signals they show up before the candle closes. The purpose for that is for you to know that, okay, Euro NZD, oh well, this one already closed, but sometimes you'll have a signal that's still pending, but it's showing on the scanner. So you always want to wait for the candle to close. And then, so the first thing that I do, once I get like this Euro NZD buy, okay, I know that I can wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. That's perfect. The other thing I want to look at, where is price on the higher time frame or even on the 15-minute time frame. So I'll zoom away from the chart. I will just zoom and zoom and zoom and see, right? Be objective. What are you looking? What are you seeing? On the 15-minute time frame, I see a possible double bottom on Euro NZD right here, this bottom and this bottom right here. So what do I know? If there's a double bottom, there's possibility for price to continue going up to complete structure. I do see this structure to the upside around at the very least 1.73964. So for this buy, does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense to me. So in this case, I would enter a buy on Euro NZD right here. Long position, go ahead and well, I'm not saying go ahead and enter, but I would go ahead and enter this 40 pips TP, 40 pips stop loss. Now I've had instances where I'm getting a so let's see, let's give an example here. This sell signal that was down here, or let's try and find an invalid here. I see this buy. So this buy signal.
So I'm actually still in a sell from the breakout scanner from yesterday on this pair on Euro NZD.
Okay, so if you're in a sell, so Is it this cell from yesterday? This cell right here,
I believe it. Let me see.
or the previous one?
This says 345. No, so it's the previous one.
So
Yeah, so it's the
this one
one.
right
It's
here.
this Wednesday, May 7th. Yep, that's the one. That's one
Okay.
right there.
So for this one, it is a valid sell. Wait, what was your TP and stop loss? Because it looks like
40 and 40 and 40.
it looks like you would have gotten to what, like long position. I'm sorry, short position. So yes, so this is a valid sell right here. So you do 40 and 40. The other thing you also want to notice to check out, do you have news in and around where you're getting the signals? This should have hit TP for you if you're doing 40 and 40, unless the Euro NZD, because this was the sell candle, and then you'd have gotten in here on this.
Right. So it. Oh, okay.
Well, you could have
That's
even hit stop loss actually, because you could have gotten faked out here, and then price came back down. So you either hit, depending on what your entry was, you would have gotten faked out up here on this stop loss right here. Okay, but let me reanalyze the trade itself. I know some of these pairs, the pippage moves differently. So definitely for Euro NZD, let me even turn off the buy and sell signals. I really don't like having a chart with buy and sell signals. Let's see, they should go away. No. Okay, that's probably a bug. So for this one, for that Euro NZD sell, it was definitely a valid sell because I don't know what is it? Just by looking at structure, this is what I see right here. There was this structure to the upside that normally should be completed to the downside. Now, here's the other thing about structure. Not every time will you have a perfect completion of structure. So I would say in future, if you see structure being completed or structure has been completed like 90% and you get a sell entry, I would say disregard that. So for this one right here, you can see this structure. So structure would have been completed around 1.72, 200. And this point, this low was 172. 715, so about 50 pips away from the completion of structure. So for me, what I normally like or structural entries that I like taking is maybe this cell that's right here. You see what I mean? Like this cell that's right here, or this cell that's right here. So some of this, even this cell that was around 50% of structure, but some of these cells that are around, because remember how a trend line's created from a lower low to a high low, or from a higher low to a lower high, right? So right here, if I was to draw a trend line, because if all structure was to be completed for all instruments, you would be getting not even trend lines, you'd just be getting support. I'm sorry, you'd just be getting price action that looks like this. But we know that, for example, right, we always have trend lines that are flowing. So for example, this is a trend line. I can even see it on the 15-minute. So that's another thing you need to be cautious of if you're trading structure. But this was a valid sell as was. But if you're trading structure, always remember that price does not always have to complete structure to the pip. Because if we were to do that on every instrument, again, we would just have a consolidating markets everywhere. And as you know, we don't have consolidating markets throughout. So for me, yes, this was structure that was possibly going to be completed to the downside here. But if price already retraced about 90 to 80% of the structure, they're really taking sells down here is sort of risky, because if a high low is to be established here, which I'm pretty sure this is a high low, price can then start trending up and then trending up, and then you get you end up getting faked out in any sells that you could have taken here. However, this was a valid sell. Maybe if you took a 50 pip stop loss, you could have been still in the trade, but you say you're still in the trade. Now, if you're still in the trade, I would look to exit at the retest of this trend line on the 15-minute. So that's another way you can look at. So for the breakout strategy, as much as you get all these signals, remember to always use our other confluences, and that will also, it will help you avoid being faked out. Yeah, so for this to me would be a valid buy, but as we analyze, right, we have an uptrend on Euro NZD. So for this one, either stop loss below this zone right here or stop loss below this previous high low. Yeah.
So 80 to 90% of completion because that's what I based my reasoning for taking the trade was when I zoomed out, I saw that it still had probably about 20 or
Yeah.
30%. So I saw the buy and I figured, oh, okay, that might be fake because it looks like it hasn't completed its structure yet. But you're saying if it gets pretty darn close, it's all right to
Yes.
start looking at going the opposite way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the other good thing to think about, like we have all these instruments right here. We have like 40 instruments. So if you miss one breakout, you're gonna get like 10 more during the day. So if one breakout does not make, if you have doubt for like a breakout entry, just leave it and look for another one. But you're right, like what you did was perfect. You know, personally, I don't even do that, but what you did was perfect, right? You zoomed out, you looked at, okay, where is structure? You saw there was this zones that might not get completed. Yes, that you're on the right path. You're even doing better than me because I just don't, sometimes I don't have to, especially this week, I don't have time to do all of that. Yeah, but you're right. That's how you'd go about it. So US 30, we still need a high low to be created. I don't care if US 30 keeps pumping up. I need a high low to be created for me to enter a buy on US 30. So it can go up as much as it wants. I'm still going to get that entry somewhere along this trend line. So I just need that high low to be created. For gold, I don't think any buy showed up. Yeah, there's no buy that showed up. So gold is still, so here's another thing to know. When you have such trends in the market, expect consolidation in the next couple of hours. So this is why I say today might be one of those days you just wait for a reversal. So after a heavy trend has formed, especially EU, when this thing retraces, it will be such a nice retracement. When you have such a trend, continuous trend in the market, just be patient. Know that in the next 4 or 5 hours, price is more than likely going to consolidate. And then what you need to look out for is either a breakout or a reversal. So yeah, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. I'm not sure we are going to get any trades. Let me see if the NAS.
Did you analyze the USDJ for me real quick? I got burnt on that a few times waiting for a reversal, man.
Okay, perfect. Let me look at that. So this US NAS, we have not gotten an official entry yet. So remember, the official entry is the retest of the 9 EMA, which is down here. I'm in this trade, entered in on impulse, but if the trade that I entered wins, I'm not going to count it as a win for the group. I only count the.
But didn't it technically retest it now, the 9 EMA, no?
Let me see. Sometimes I get confused which one is the 9. I think in my chart, the 9 EMA is the yellow one on the breakout scanner, if I'm not wrong. Let me see.
Oh, okay. If it's the yellow
Yeah,
one.
no, yeah, it's the yellow one, so it hasn't been retested yet. UJ, USD JPY. Oh, also I was in a reversal for GJ. GJ yesterday tried. So you did a reversal for UJ on, and I'm guessing you entered on the 5 minute. If you're looking for reversal, I'm guessing you're looking for a sell, right? Livy?
Yeah, I was looking for a sell. It's been trending up for a minute now, pretty much.
So which cell area were you looking at? Or which cell did you enter? So here's the thing, right? Right here, I don't like seeing this. When you find the 9 EMA cutting in between candles, you really don't want that for a reversal. And I was talking to Marcus this morning, so he gave me like an example. He he showed me like a reversal, or he said, I think it was GU, right? So same analysis, or actually, yeah, GU. But let's use UJ for now. So if you find that price is breaking, remember, you need a clean, consistent trend. We've seen, like, if you're in doubt, just look at what gold is doing. This is what you want to see. If you don't see this on the 5 minute time frame, move to the 15 minute time frame, right? So here, right now I can stick to gold on the 5-minute time frame, but for, let's just do UJ. UJ, if this is the price action you're getting on USD JPY, give me 1 second. Okay, if this is the price action you're getting on USD JPY, why then where the 9 EMA is just cutting in between 5-minute candles, that is not what you want to see, right? Like, let's say, let me even try to look for a valid sell or a valid, I don't trade UJ, but let me just attempt to see. I see this is a news candle or something, so that takes up like 50%. To be honest with you, I don't see any point of interest, possibly here. Three. Wait, you had this closure below and this closure below. So this is a possible point of interest. Horizontal ray.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying. That's my first sell was that sell right there where the two closed below.
okay, so 50 pips. Remember, some of these pairs, I know GJ, it moves heavy. I think UJ moves similar to GJ in heaviness, if I'm not wrong, because 50 pips here would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 832, I think. Actually, it doesn't move as heavy, I don't think. So 832, this would be 50 pips. So not interested. So this sell would have been invalid. So the first sell in this instance would have been here. This would have been the first cell, because this cell would not have been valid because it's not, it's it's within the 50 pip trend. All right, so this would be the first cell on UJ, which would have hit stop loss. So at this point, if this hits stop loss, personally, if I was trading this, I would have just moved to the 15-minute time frame and then waited for a sell. Okay, got into a sell here. So same thing. So now in the 15-minute, you're doing the same thing. You start over by looking for your point of interest. So for the point of interest here, at this point, the point of interest on the 15-minute time frame is here about. So I always try to work with round numbers so that they can help me just decide where the 50 pip is. So this one, then I would do 50 pips from here is like 400 or something. So 400 right there. So wouldn't have been interested in any cells that showed up here. Got in this cell, took this cell right here, short 40 pips. There you go, 40 pips. There you go. For this one, right? Came into profit. So let's see, for this trade, 540, 540 less 200, 340. So this trade you should have put break even if you took this trade. So remember, for all my trades, other than maybe the breakouts and reversals, personally I let something hit stop loss or something hit TP. But if you're trading the strategy that I teach you guys, remember, for me, I normally don't have to follow what I teach because I know where to recover from. But for our strategy, any trade that you ever enter, it doesn't matter whether it's a breakout, reversal, or whatnot, when you're at 50% in profit, consider either setting break even or securing some and setting break even, especially for forex pair, and especially if you're trading a 30-minute time frame and a 15-minute time frame and above, because those to me are higher time frames because I'm used to trading the 5-minute candles. So for me, I don't like holding trades for more than 30 minutes. So if I was trading this trade, for me, I would just have let it hit stop loss or TP because I don't have time to keep looking. But for you guys, any trade that you ever enter based on my strategy, whether it's on the 15-minute, 5-minute or whatnot, at 50%, decide whether you're willing to take the loss or decide whether you're willing to take break even or decide if you just want to secure everything at that point. So let's assume for me, this one, if I was trading it, would have gotten stopped out at for that trade, as much as I would have been 50 pips in profit. Then here I would come into the 30-minute time frame. So if you look at the 30-minute time frame, this is the last time we had a sell. Price is so far away from the 9 EMA. So this is the trade then I would enter, and this trade I would enter with a heavy lot size. If I got a sell for UJ, I would enter this trade with a heavy lot size and possibly extend my TP and stop loss. Now, if we go back to the 5-minute, let's see what happened before the price action that was there before we got the sell. So for me, as you know, this is what I hate, right? For a trend, I hate when price is closing consistently below the 9 EMA. So in any case, this is not a sell I would have personally taken. Like, if you're ever in doubt, just look at, this is my perfect reversal on a 5-minute. This is my perfect reversal play out on a 5-minute. You don't have all those closures above the 9 EMA. You can have, so this one right here came up, how do I put it? It was invalid because it came up within the threshold, right? But you want these consistent closures. What you need to be wary of is 2 or more candles consistently closing above or below the 9 EMA during a trend. That is what you want to be wary of. So in any case, you want consistent closures be above or below the 9 EMA after the threshold has happened. So right now, even though you are to compare gold and UJ, gold right here, you had how many consistent closures since your point of interest? Just this one. Here, so even though we had one candle, let's assume this green candle closed above. So I don't care if one green candle is closing above or below. All I care about is not more than one candle closing below or above the 9 EMA. So hopefully that makes sense. So to me, yes, this is a red flag for my reversal. This is not a red flag because it's only one candle that closed above the 9 EMA. The next candle closed below it. So to me, this is, if you're in doubt, take a screenshot of this. This is my perfect trend. When you compare this to UJ, USD, JPY, let's go back to that first 5 minutes, right? We have our point of interest here. So what the first red flag, this. So that's a red flag that cancels out with gold because gold also has that. So, you know, that's still, at this point, the trade was still valid. Red flag number 2, I have another consistent closure below the 9 EMA. As much as it's within the threshold, it's still a red flag. Okay, 2 red flags right here. Gold only had 1. I'm willing to stomach that on gold. 3rd red flag, 4th red flag. So at this point, this is not a trade I would have taken on GJ. In any instance, right here on GJ, if I was looking to catch a reversal, go on the 15-minute time frame. Go on the 15-minute time frame, and at that point, start all over again. You have your point of interest. Yes, this is a valid point of interest. Okay, your 50, 40 or whatever, what do we say, 50 pips threshold, there you go. And then wait for a sell. So in this instance, you can see here we didn't get a sell on UJ, which is, you know, the indicator is working as should be. Now on the higher time frame, possibly go, I always say on the 15-minute and above, try playing with 0 and fast MA. So yeah, so there you could have gotten a sell. So this is why I say this settings right here are what is it? Is it objective? Are objective. So the way I do them does not necessarily have to be the way you do them personally. So for this trade right here, you already got invalidated on the 5-minute. So you would not have taken this sell even on the 15-minute because the 5-minute invalidated. So at that point, you wait for the next sell. So in any case, this was your first valid entry on UJ right here on the 15-minute because you moved away from the 5-minute and went into the 15-minute. So the moral of the story is, if you have a lot of red flags on the 5-minute, go ahead and move to the 15-minute. You're not going to miss anything. In any case, you're probably going to save yourself. So instead of having 2 losses here, I only see I need to only have had 1 loss. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. And there goes US30. So I said I don't care whether US30 keeps pumping up. Let it do what it wants to do. Let it do what it wants to do up there. What am I looking for here? And there goes NAS. So NAS, for me, I'm in so at this point, right, I'll go to my charts right here and see what do I want to do. So for me, this is on the 15-minute time frame. I normally trade on the 5-minute time frame. So for me on NAS here, I'll go ahead and set break even because this is a 15-minute candle. If it was the 5-minute candle, I would have just let this trade ride, because 15-minute candles, you need to consider 3 5-minute candles. So this is one candle here is 3 candles that I'm used to trading. So for me here, for this trade, I would just set break even and just let what happens happen. So either set break even or secure half and set break even. But based on our strategies, I know this is not an official trade, but based on our strategies, if this was an official trade, stop loss would secure some here. If this was a 5-minute time frame, would secure half and set break even. But since now this is the breakout strategy, for me on the breakout strategy, I let whatever happens happen. I either let TP hit or stop loss hit. That's just how I do it. But for you guys here, if you jumped into this trade with me, you should secure at the very least set break even if you don't want to secure any amount. Yeah, so the only trade I think we're going to get today, the only official trade is probably a US 30 trade or a gold trade right here, a gold buy. 26. Wow. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? So for here, US 30, what am I waiting on? There you go. There's that high low. So we had this hanging trend line that's now an official trend line. So what are we looking for here? We are looking for US 30 to come back down, but we also have a golden cross that's forming. So remember, as much as this is a static trend line right now, another high low can be established somewhere here. So price does not always have to come back to a static trend line. And we've seen this while trading the hourly time frame in the last 2 days or so. So price does not have to come back right now and retest this static trend line. It can end up retesting it up here, because at this point you have a golden cross that's being formed on US 30. So wait, give me 1 second. This is a 17 seconds, 400. This is close. It is a bullish hammer candle. However, the wick hasn't satisfied the 30 pips or so. Geez, no, I'm not going to take it. So I like sticking to my strategy, but it is a bullish hammer candle. But for me to trade a bullish hammer candle, the wick has to be at least 30 pips. So this wick right here, you can see it's 425 down to 400. So it's 25 pips. So just 5 pips maybe is not a deal breaker, but for me, I like sticking to my strategies. So I'm not going to take that. But we do have a golden cross that just formed, and price should shoot up. But I do expect price to retrace and retest the 9 EMA for continuation to the upside. So this gold is the only trade that I'm seeing we can catch today on the live session. So I really don't want to force anything. So I'm already in this NAS trade that's already in profit, about to hit TP. I was in some, I took a loss on, let me see what breakout I took. I took GBP, I took a loss on GBP NZD and GBP AUD. The other thing that I want to let you guys know, if you're taking the breakouts, avoid taking breakouts. So you see how Euro CHF and Euro JPY are breaking out. Don't take both trades. So I did that mistake this morning. I took 2 sells on GBP NZD and GBP AUD, which ended up hitting stop loss. So if you get, like right now, Euro CHF and Euro JPY, just go to that chart and analyze both pairs. So see, right, just be objective, like and honest with yourself. See what you're seeing on Euro CHF. So Euro CHF, if I look to the left, to me, I do see this buy as making sense because we've been in a downtrend for a while. I don't see any structure or any relevant structure to the left. So this buy would make sense for me on Euro CHF. However, because of how these pairs move, a 40 pip stop loss from here would be 1197, 119, which is somewhere here. So yeah, this Euro CHF would be a valid buy to me. Then I'll do Euro JPY. So same thing. See which of the two entries or two pairs gives you a good entry. Oh, yeah, I took this the other day, I think. I think it was a breakout. Went into TP. Yeah, I took this buy a while ago. So now Euro JPY, what do we see on Euro JPY? Zooming out, it's not the same thing as Euro CHF. So Euro JPY, we have two things, right? So being objective here, Euro JPY completed structure to the downside eventually. And so this was the first point of structure right here that was completed eventually down here. So if a structure is completed, what do we know? Another structure has been formed. So there's this structure to the upside. So right now, I would be interested in, because this structure right now, the way we just talked about this morning, I would be interested in buys that show up either when the structure is starting to get created. Let me turn off this for now in order to reduce, should take off the markups. Okay. So after a structure is created or is completed, we know there's another structure to the upside. So in this instance, this is the structure to the upside right here around 151,705 that needs to be created. Now, we don't want to take any buys that are around 150,591 area or 500 area. So if we get a buy here, this buy would be valid since it's on the 50th percentile when the trend started, if that makes sense, or 50th, the bottom 50th percentile of the structure that needs to be completed. So this buy also makes sense. However, you need to ask yourself, since we've realized that the Euro CHF and Euro JPY buys are valid, between these, instead of entering two buys on a Euro pair in the same direction, as much as the other side of the pairs are different, ask yourself which between those two trades looks more valid. Is it this setup for Euro JPY? And if you zoom out on Euro JPY, you can still see structure to the bottom that can possibly still come down to be completed. If we go back to Euro CHF and do the same thing, we keep so let's, I guess that thing is still loading. And if a buy on gold comes up, let me know. But right now, looks like it's still trending to the downside. There goes US 30. Yeah, so this, I wish this was a 30 pip wick because that would have gone straight into TP. However, I don't, if a trade does not make sense to me, I don't feel bad if I miss it. I just wait for the next one. So this one right here, if I keep scrolling, so you can see the trend, we've just been sinking this whole time. So to me, the buy on Euro CHF makes more sense than the buy on Euro JPY. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you get two entries for the same pair in the same direction, analyze both and look for the one that makes more sense. So for me, yes, the Euro JPY buy also makes sense, but for me, this one has a higher probability to win. So for this trade, this would also be a good official trade, but the official trades, I like being safe with them. So for this one, I would wait for the retest of the 9 EMA on Euro CHF. And keep in mind, after this, once this month is done, I'm not going to be doing the breakouts on the live session, just to be fair to the people who have access to that, to the breakout indicators, who subscribe to them.
I have a question about the signals. Did you I know that a while back, maybe a week or so ago, you posted a screenshot. I guess you had set it up through your trade copier.
Yeah.
And I was curious about your progress, if you still had that running, and how it was working out.
No, so I haven't been copying. So the last 2 or so weeks, I've just been focused on my EA. So I stopped everything else. Yeah, the only thing yeah, so until everything is done, that's when I'll just go back and test I still do have the account. It was a demo account, so it is what it is. But yeah, I haven't been copying anything. But for the 1 month or so, the signals that have a high win rate are gold, US30, and NAS. I know we also did get a buy signal on US30, and you can see US30 has been pumping. I'm somewhere here we got a buy signal on US30. So yeah, US30, NAS, and gold signals are heavily profitable than the other signals. Also, if you're trading signals and want to have a high win rate, so same thing I'm doing here. Instead of entering the signal on impulse, always wait for the retest of the 9 EMA on that time frame, and then just enter it. Yeah. So so it doesn't matter the month. Overall, the gold, US30, and NAS signals are heavily profitable compared to the others. So Euro CHF. So this Euro CHF, if you guys want, just wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. That will be the live. So the official trade will be the retest of the 9 EMA. Personally, like nowadays, I'm so tired. I don't have time to be analyzing all these charts. But because I've already done the analysis here, and I'm too lazy to set a pending order, I will enter this trade as well. So the other thing I'm doing for the breakout entries, since I get like 5 entries a day, I'm using a point. Ideally, you want to use a 0.25 risk for each trade because you'll get like 5 trades a day. So if you do 0.25 and you end up winning 3 and losing 1, you're already up 0.5 for the day. So at some point I was doing 0.5%, but I found that to be a bit risky. So if you do enter the breakout entries, use a 0.25, knowing that that's if you're looking for multiple breakout entries during the day. If you're only looking for 1 or 2, just use like 0.5% risk. But for this trade, since it will be an official trade on the live session when we get a retest of that 9 EMA, this trade is with a 0.5% risk. Same thing as NAS. If we do get that retest, but NAS is so far up, I don't think that that trade will be valid anymore, even if it comes back down. So let me just enter this on one of my accounts. What are we at? So that's a 40 pip, and I'm risking. Okay. So hopefully this makes sense. So if you're ever in doubt with any of my indicators, always know that if you get a buy or sell signal, the easiest way to just take off all the noise, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. If you're using signals and you're unsure whether to enter or not, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. If you get a breakout buy or sell and you're unsure of it, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. What are the strike for the reversal? Also, if you're unsure about it, wait for the retest of the 9 EMA. Now, afterwards, right, if you really want to be safe, more safe, draw your trend lines, look for completion of structure, look for the high lows. But at the very, 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 very least, for any of my strategies I'll ever develop in my life, always wait for the retest of the 9 EMA if you're unsure about a trade. See, does anybody have any questions? Huh? Okay. Yeah, so right now the only thing I'm waiting for is gold. And then so I want gold to keep going down. That is what I want. I want gold to keep dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. That's what I want, because if we get that nice reversal, so keep in mind I've been getting
1950 too. It's coming around.
Yeah, I've been getting stopped out, and my stop loss is 100 pips. Like that's a $10 move. So when I'll catch the gold buy, I'll probably ride it for like 200 pips. But yeah, when I get that entry for gold, I will go heavy on it. So US30, still nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing. left, but you can see the bias, you know, you can see the importance of these zones. You see the daily. So this is why I say, when you see a high time frame OB, it overrides everything, every other opposite lower time frame OB that you're seeing. So for me, that's the reason why I like identifying these zones, because as much as I may have this horizontal lines in the chart, when I see that, my mind just deletes everything else automatically and tells me, hey, we have a daily bullish low. This rarely comes up. This is telling you that you need to look for a buy. The only thing here is that we got this high low way after this zone right here. So, but you know, that tells me, that just tells me the next time you see the daily zone, just be prepared. Maybe here, like even looking around, if I was to delete all the bearish zones here, we did have a bullish zone here, right? So trading is all about learning. That's why I don't really, so long as I'm learning, I don't care if I'm making if I'm losing or winning, right? So here, one thing I can see, we had this hourly bullish and low. So with this hourly bullish and low, I could have possibly had an entry here, right? Because if I look at it this way, if in a daily bullish low and they picked up liquidity there to the pip, that means price is supposed to spike up heavily, right? They're going to take off all the sellers that are anywhere around here. They're going to take the sellers on the hourly order blocks. They're going to take the sellers on the 15-minute bearish order blocks. So knowing that, and we have this hourly zone here, maybe I could have looked at it this way. I could have been, okay, we have another zone here that can also help us ride price to the upside. So at this zone, what also was forming? We were forming a golden cross. We were forming a golden cross here on the 5-minute. And then at that point, I would have been like, okay, what else? I'm pretty sure, I think we got a 5-minute buy signal on US 30, if I'm not wrong. If I go to the signals page, I'm pretty sure we had a US 30 buy on the 5-minute. Yeah, there you go. So this right here could have been a buy we could have taken. So now for next time, I know to look out for this. I know to look out, okay, look at the daily bullish low. If the high, if your trend line is not established in time, look at where that daily zone is likely to take price and look for another order block in the same direction, and then look for an entry in there. So that's just an FYI in future. That's how, you know, like right now we missed it, but we know next time if we run across another daily zone, that's one thing we need to look out for. So gold, let me see. I really don't want to miss this trade. I know I normally stop trading at 11. I might just set a pending order. So let's see how gold does in the next 5 or so minutes. And then we can just set a pending order. EU is still dipping. So EU is at the point of interest that I marked up, right? So this is a demand zone within a demand zone right here. So if EU is to reverse at any point, it should be right now. But again, we always want to wait for that confirmation. Now, to get an early entry to ride this monthly bullish high, we need a high low to be created. If prices to come back up this way, a high low will be created in between this zone. So to buy EU, we need to wait for a lower low to be established and then a high low to be established, draw a trend line, and then enter. And then enter that, if that makes sense. So yeah, today is just a matter of waiting and waiting and waiting, and it will be worth it, like literally. So for today, I am probably going to, you know, I'm looking to make maybe like, I know I'll be making like 3 figures almost every day, but maybe even 5 figures, because for gold, like when I say I'm going to go heavy on it, I'm going to go heavy on it. EU as well, US 30. I'm not looking to trade US 30 because I'm already in a NAS position. I'm already in a NAS position that's at break even. So this is the trade that's at break even. Yeah. So unless anybody else has any questions, I really don't see anything else.
I got one other question. The NAS, the indices like the NAS 100 and the US 30, the settings for the breakout scanner, are you still leaving the 50 and 50?
Yeah,
for those?
I'm doing so 50 is the baseline for everything. But I do encourage you guys to play around with those settings, because for me to be knowing myself, I'll just leave them as is and I'll never change them. But if you want to refine, I do recommend definitely 50 for FX pairs, US 30 gold and US 30 gold. What else do we trade? US 30 and gold and Bitcoin. Try changing those and see what entries you get, because
And
the more
NAS, right?
the more you change them, the more that you'll see the buy and sell disappearing. Remember, the key to any of my indicators, you want to see buys on the low and sells on the top. Yeah, so I wouldn't rely on myself. So the figures I give you are just the basic ones, but knowing myself, like, I really have no motivation to keep looking for the best settings for all these indicators. So it's upon you to also even look at, okay, what happens when I change the like for me, I don't know what happens when you change the EMA here to the 9. I'm pretty sure you'll get other entries, but that's something you need to set time aside and say, for today, I'll set all these settings so that I put the 9 EMA. Look at that, right? So you can trade the breakout based on the 9 EMA. You don't have to trade it based on the 50 EMA. So it's all like testing and testing. But these 50 values, they came up after like 40, like, what is it, 20 hours sitting in front of the screen, back to back. Like, I never left the computer. So this is just the fruit of 20 hours of my own back testing. Now, it doesn't have to align with what you have. So it's upon you guys. Yeah, but start with 50 and then back test. That's what I'll say. So 50
Okay.
here for everything, 50 here. For the reversal indicator, this is 50 for US 30 and gold and NAS, or let me just put it, commodities and indices. For
Oh,
9
I
EM.
have one other question too about the when I look on the lines for the breakout scanner, it'll show like little red and green X's. So is that like where it printed a signal but then
No.
it canceled it, or what is that?
To be honest with you, I don't. If you, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But let's see if we can find out. I can ask. Here it is. Buy or sell. No, it's not. So if we take off that, yeah, it might be. Yeah, I think it's. To be honest with you, I do not know. I can check with my program. I think you're right. So the buy and sells normally show up before a candle closed. So maybe, yes, maybe those are the zones where, but I don't think so, because I don't think, no, it's not that way, because if you look at the X's are supposed to be sells, right? So if you look at, if I take off this right here, there's no sell that's supposed to be above this zone. So unless at some given, no, yeah, I don't think it's periods where there were buys and sells and they didn't materialize, because there's no sell that's supposed to be above above whatever EMA you put in here. So it's not where the buy and sell signals did not materialize. So I can ask him what it is and get back to you. But yeah, it's not where, because there are no sells that showed up here. I can tell that because price was above the 50 EMA. And 50 EMA is a slow moving EMA, so there's no time price was below the 50 EMA here. So yeah, I can ask him what those X's mean.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't, to be honest, I don't see anything else. I really want to see this dip continue in the markets. I really want to see that, because for any reversals, that will give me like a risk-free and worry-free trade. Give me, what trade did I want to enter? Euro JPY? Was it Euro JPY or Euro CHF? Euro CHF. I still, that's the last trade I'm entering for the day. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm just looking to enter Euro CHF. I think it was for a buy. So for Euro CHF, the official trade will be the retest of the 9 EMA. Wait, did it already? No, it hasn't gone off. Yeah, this will be the official trade when we get the retest of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute. since we haven't gotten that yet so far. But for me, I even got late. I literally just entered right now. It is what it is. How I would have entered this trade would have been in this candle. The trade that I'll count is when the 9 EMA is retested. So there's two trades today. The NAS one, go ahead and disregard. Even though the NAS comes back down, I would not advise you guys to buy NAS on the retest of the 9 EMA because NAS has already gone so far up in profit. So I would not advise. So this trade, I would cancel this trade, the one that I'd mentioned. So today, the only trades that I'm counting is the Euro CHF entry and then the gold entry. If we do get a gold buy for reversal, those are the only two trades. Other than that, that should be it for the day. Ideally, you want to limit yourself to about 3 to 4 trades a day. And then keep in mind the times that I advise you guys not to trade mid New York to mid Asia, and then 1 hour before New York and like 30 minutes after New York open. The other thing I noticed why it's good for you to give yourself times where you should only trade is that it gives you a break. You're not a robot. I mean, only ES can trade 24/5. So if you're looking for trades each and every hour of the day, you'll just end up being tired. And trust me, you really, if you want this to be a full-time thing in like 5 years, you really don't want to be trading like 5 hours a day. So limit your trading times to like 3 or 4 hours a day, and then stick to that. Even if let's say you've made your daily target right now, don't look at the charts until your next trading time has come up. So that's just something I'm even trying on myself, even with other things that I'm doing. I just set the times that I'm in front of the charts. If I'm not supposed to be in front of the charts, there's no reason for me to be. Money will always be there. We'll always find entries. But other than that, unless anybody else has any questions, I will see you guys tomorrow. So the only trades today I'm looking for that will be official trades is a gold reversal and a Euro CHF retest of the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. So for both of those trades, I'm entering the Euro CHF 0.5% risk. And I'll also send it if I see it, if I'm in front of the charts, I'll also send it in the group. Also the gold trade, I'm going to send it. So for gold, I'll probably call out a 0.5% risk or 0.75% risk. Yeah. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye guys.
Yeah, just one last thing. When you said, what was it? Yeah, the supply and demand zones. When you said, you know, the news when you said will break, can use demand zones and supply zones and break them. So what did you mean by that? And you know, on the reversal and breakout scanner, would it show like just before or just when news takes place? Would it show a signal?
Yeah, so the breakout scanner will show a signal. It's 24/5. There's no setting to not show a signal before or after. I mean, I can ask for a squeeze filter to be inputted, but I don't see a need for that on the scanner. So the reversal scanner reversal scanner is based on price action, so it doesn't care about news or whatnot. Same thing as so the thing I said about they can use. So you see how gold is breaking for most people. What is green zones? This is a demand zone. This tells you there's a lot of buyers here. So it's, if you're a market maker, you really don't want to make money with other people, with retail traders. So if you know there's a lot of pending buys here, or people just trying to catch the bottom, then
so they're just catching liquidity right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they'll catch liquidity. Not to say that this can, so what smart money right now can be doing, they're stopping out all these buyers right here, and for them, guess what they're doing? They're setting pending buys. So once they take out stop losses here, they leave a pending buy here, pending buy, pending buy, pending buy. And then guess what happens? Later on, they'll use the same demand zones to push price up. So they use this demand zones as supply zones for them to stop hunt people. And then
all right, so
they leave pending orders there, and then now they go back later when they've stopped out like 50% of the people.
All right, so in this case, like these demand zones, so if we see them, what's it called? Yeah, of course, based on the strategy, you wouldn't enter, but the market makers, they're using these demand zones to stop people out. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh,
So not every time, not every time, because here, look at US 30. They picked up the demand zone respected, right? It respected. So that's why you always want to have a bias before you enter any trade. So like today I said I was looking for buys on US 30. Primarily because of the daily bullish low. So, and I've said this before, the green zones and the red zones, they never tell me whether to look for buys or sells. I never trade based on the green and red zones. The
yeah.
purpose to me for the green and red zones, it just tells me, hey, there's buyers seated here. Hey, there's sellers seated here. That's number one. Now, at that point, I don't have a bias. Now, if I had a daily bullish, same thing with US 30. If I had a daily zone here or a 4-hour zone here, yes, I would have then drawn my trend line. Same thing I did for US 30. But for right now, for gold, this would just be dumb of me to enter any buy right now blindly, because even for the markups themselves, I only have the weekly low, which keeps getting lower. And then I have a previous monthly open. I have a monthly low. I don't have any bullish zones. All my zones, all my order blocks for gold are all the way up here. So right now at this time, this is a very risky entry for gold. A, because you don't have any order blocks. B, you don't have a trend line. So for me, this buy on gold, I would enter this buy once it lines up.
Oh yeah.
Because
But
it
based on
lines up
structure,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, structure and my strategy. So don't use the supply and demand zones by themselves to enter a trade. You'll get burnt more times than
Yeah,
not.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. I
Yeah.
think you know what was it? The gold trade yesterday when you called it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one hit stop loss. I think, but the way you did it was you went up for how many? I think you went up for 30 pips. I think you set the TP for, was it 50 pips? You usually go for 50
No,
pips. Isn't it?
no. For reversals and breakouts, I go for double. So I was going for 100. I was going for 100 pips.
Oh, no wonder why. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, just reverse.
The reason I go for double, the amount of pippage I normally go on a regular trade is because if you think about it, if you're catching a reversal, that means there was a trend. And what happens during a trend? A trend can keep going, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to set a stop loss so thin that they can fake you out before the actual move happens. So gold is going to reverse, whether it's today, whether it's in a month from now, gold is still going to come back up. Now, the question is, you want to have when you get your entry, you want to have a wide enough stop loss to prevent the market makers from stopping you out before they take price back up, because they always do that. They will always do that because they know a lot of people are trying to catch the bottom on gold.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you now need to be smart and be like, okay, I've gotten my buy entry. How big of a stop loss do I need to avoid getting stopped out? Because for me, my stop loss was 100 pips. 100 pips is a big move on gold. So I was like, if they stop me out, then it just means, hey, maybe gold is going to keep going lower. And the more I get stopped out on every time frame, I'm moving to a higher time frame, so that when I get a buy on the 30-minute, on the 1 hour, gold will be pumping at that point.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so just one last thing. With the scanner, I think what's it called? The settings, the ones that you've tested so far. I mean, would you say well, you've tested them, but would you say they're the ones that we should try first?
They're the ones you should try first. If I were, that should be the basis. Let me just finish that way. But if I had time, I would just do my own thing. So long as you understand what a moving average is, so long as you understand how to calculate pips, don't even use mine. Use something that works for you. Because I told you you can use the breakout scanner in the 5-minute time frame. So the higher this is how I'll put it. The higher the time frame, the higher the moving average you want to use.
All right.
Yeah. So, but use the ones I gave you as a basis, and then adjust.
Yeah.
So adjust the for right now, don't adjust the moving average, adjust the pippage, so the test pips, and then see how that happens. Again, the key, you want to end up with high sells on the highs and buys on the lows.
All right.
But yeah, that's what you want to end up with on whatever setting it is that you're using. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. I'm out of the NAS trade. So as much as that hit TP, I'm not going to count it, but I did make a good amount on that. And this is 100 pip move, so that's huge on an index. Yeah,
That's why
also,
I want to learn NAS because it always makes big ass moves like that.
yeah. Nas is this. I know Steven trades Nas. The other thing I'll be focusing on for me going forward, I'll be focusing on the breakout strategy. I'll be focusing on reversals, and I'll be focusing on what else? What other strategy? I think, yeah, just those two. So I'll be looking for like 2 breakout entries a day. Looking for days like this, looking for a reversal. Remember, we're not going to be getting reversals every day. And then just like 1 trade on the live session. So that should be able to give me like 1% a day. So yeah, beginning next week, right? That will be my focus. So remember, this game is all about planning. Just plan and break down the numbers. As much as reaching 8% might seem huge, just look at, we have all these strategies. Tell yourself, today I'm only going to be looking for 1 signal. Today I'm only going to be looking for 1 entry on the breakout. Today I'm only going to be looking for 1 entry on the live session. That's it. That is all you need. Once you meet your target, go ahead. And that's how you build confidence, because trust me, if you do that for a week and you stick to it and you don't take any extra trades, hey, in like 2 months, it will be like clockwork to you. It will be like, I've met my profit target, I'm done. Bye till tomorrow. So yeah, so just find one strategy and be good at it. Just focus on it and you'll be good. Let's see. Question in the okay. Any other last questions? All right. If not, I will talk to you guys later. I'll send the Euro CHF trades and gold trades even when they do come in. But right now, I want to see these instruments keep dipping. All right, guys. I will talk to you guys tomorrow to end the
Oh,
week.
bro, one more thing.
Mhm.
Do you know for the subscriptions, do we send the what's it called? Should we send it through to you, like, you know, through your
Yeah, just DM me. So there's like this subscription promo channel, and there's like what you have like 2 more weeks to whatever this. Yeah, so just send me this, and then I'll add you to the indicators, to all the indicators that I have, to the signals channel, to my charts. Yeah, just DM me after you've made the payment. Just DM me a screenshot of it, and then I'll take care of the rest. And if you need one-on-one help with me to set up, I know I'm having one-on-one later with one of the members today. So just let me know if you need some more assistance understanding the indicators, and we can schedule that.
All right, bro. Thank you.
All right. See you guys tomorrow to end the week. Actually, you know what? We won't have a live session tomorrow. I have a commitment mid session. Maybe actually, unless we do like 30 minutes, yeah, we can do like a 30, but yeah, tomorrow we won't have like the whole hour and a half live session. So yeah, just a reminder. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.